Hey, what's up, everyone? Uh, I guess we can kind of call this like stupid knife laws. Why are automatic knives so scary? And when I first started getting into knives, I remember I got my first assisted opening knife. And I forget which one it was exactly, but this one right here was pretty close to one of the first ones. I believe this is the Kershaw filter. And I bought this a while back. I think it was like maybe $13 or $14 on Walmart. And it's assisted opening. It has the flipper here, and it comes out. And I remember thinking, "Wow, that's pretty quick. That's pretty cool." And some people I know who, because I was like a budding knife person, which I didn't realize at that point, and some people said, "Is that a switchblade?" I said, "No, that's not a switchblade." And I said, "It's not. Well, then what's a switchblade like that?" And I said, "I don't know. Like you press a button, but that's all I knew." So later on, I started realizing, some differences, and I realized what's the difference really between assisted opening and switchblades, because you look at this knife right here, and this knife is a manual knife. It has a flipper, and watch this. Hey, that goes pretty quick. Now this one does not have. It's not an automatic. It's manual. It does not have a torsion bar like a lot of assisted opening knives would have. But if you notice, it probably comes out just as fast as the assisted opening does. And if it's not as fast, it's pretty close to it. And like I said, there's no spring in here, just like a manual knife. A lot of people, if you hand it to them, might just kind of go like this and just open it the old-fashioned way. And then you get this one, which is assisted opening. And like I said, you kind of push down, push down, push down, and it kind of pops out. So, you open it with the flipper, and then at a certain point, there's that torsion bar that kind of helps it. And you can kind of feel it when you're putting it in. It's kind of easy to put in, and then you kind of hit a little bit of resistance there. There you go. And then we have the automatic, where you just press the button. And this is the Boker Strike, the full size copper handles. Got a great deal on this. It's like $29. Great knife. So that made me do some research and kind of try to figure out what is the difference, because all three of these, the manual, the assisted opening, and the auto, all have sharp blades. They're all knives. You're pressing something for them to open, and they open really fast, kind of equally fast in my opinion. So I looked into it. Here's what I found. You see this knife right here? You push on the flipper, and then when you push on the flipper, the momentum gets out. There it goes. So this little flipper piece is this little flipper piece. So that's all one piece. Wow, imagine that. So you're basically touching the blade, and then it just changes position. Kind of in the same way that someone with a traditional manual or slip joint would kind of touch the blade to open it. Now, this one has assisted opening, but it also has this flipper here. So, let's see, in a minute. Oh, look at that. There's the flipper again. It's amazing stuff. So, this flipper, which then comes over here, is part of the... Look at that. It's one piece. Imagine that. These people are geniuses. Wow. They actually put a little flipper tab on a blade. That's amazing. That is crazy. Wow. Anyway. Now with this one, there's no flipper. That's okay. I'll just use the thumb studs, because this one has thumb studs too, and the thumb studs are connected, and you could just kind of go like this and open it. So the thumb studs are connected to the blade, so I can just use thumb stud. So there's no flipper here, and there's no thumb studs. There's no like spidey hole kind of thing to flick it out or anything, so I have to press a button. Look at that. Can you see that? I just pressed a button here that isn't part of the blade. Whoa! Wow. The button is separate from the blade. See, with these, the flipper and the blade, one and the same. This one, totally different. So, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I can't open this up like a traditional slip joint. I can do that with this. I can do it with this. And then I can flip this. And then I can flip this. And then I can also, use the thumb studs if I wanted to and assist it open, but this one I can only use that button. And therein lies the scariness of the automatic knife, because you don't have to touch the blade. So even though this one moves out fast and this one comes out fast and this one comes out fast, and that blade sharp and that blade sharp and that blade sharp, they're all kind of roughly the same size. The thing that would make this knife legal almost everywhere, and this knife legal in probably almost all places, and this knife illegal in a lot of places, is the fact that the blade is not being touched to open. That is absolutely ridiculous. Because now let's say someone has bad motives. Maybe they're going to mug somebody. Maybe they're going to stab somebody, assault them. You can get these knives open just as fast as any other knife. You can get these just as sharp as any other knife. You can do as much damage as any other knife. The only difference is you press a button instead. And really, if you really want to say, this is kind of button-like, isn't it, this flipper? Think about it. You're pressing it down. With this, you're pressing it down. How stupid can a politician be to think that the failure of a knife to be manipulated by touching some part of the blade makes it more dangerous than another one? You could cause harm with a slip joint. You could cause harm with great-granddad's case slip joint from mid-century, or with your traditional buck knife that you pick up at Walmart, or, you know what, those old Ginsu knives that you might have picked up on an infomercial in 1993. So to think that this is somehow dangerous just shows you how stupid and how ignorant some people are, and for others, just how much they lie, and they want to basically inhibit our rights. It's really ridiculous. This is no more dangerous than this. And to be honest with you, I tend to buy a lot of autos. I enjoy automatic knives. I like automatic knives. I'll buy more. And I think one of the reasons is just because, like, for me, they kind of almost have like a mystique. Like, oh, you don't want me having automatic knives? Ha! I'll buy another one. Because, to be honest with you, this is actually a little more inconvenient than some knives I have. I'll give you an example. I remember seeing someone on, I think it was like a Blade HQ video, and they said, oh yeah, you can't really close an automatic knife with one hand. And I remember saying, where do you come from? I can close an automatic knife with one hand. No problem. So, if you're on a ladder doing something, you could just open this with one hand. It's not like a slip joint that you need two hands for, or something that's not going to lock. And like I said, I can, just do this and close it quite easily. Now, to be honest with you, this one actually closes more easily, because this kind of just falls closed. This one, you got to kind of keep pressure down on it. This one is easier to start closing because it has the torsion bar. So it's very easy for the first half, then it gets a little more difficult. But to be honest with you, this is actually the most dangerous one to close. Dangerous because it could just come right back at you. Now this one, not so bad. If this was a ProTech, they really snap back. But it could give you an issue if you're trying to close it one-handed. Like I said, I'm used to them, so it's okay with me. Actually, I think probably the best knife to work one-handed is a button lock, because you can flick it open. You can use a flipper, flick it with your finger, just press the button, flip it. I mean, you can just do a million things with it, and you just use gravity to close it, which is another whole legal thing. But like I said, for those of you who are kind of thought like, well, why is this fine in like mostly all states and this one isn't? And I just thought I did a little research on that, and wanted to share it with you, just to show you how ridiculous it is. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Um, the other funny thing is some places allow them, but they pass these laws that make it so that you couldn't possibly carry them. Like, for example, where I live, you can conceal carry any knife that's 3 inches or less. If it's over 3 inches, it would have to be open carried. Okay. And there's no restriction on autos. Okay. Now, in 2 neighboring states, you can only carry an automatic knife if the blade is 1.5 inches or less. Yes, you heard me correctly, 1.5 inches. I don't think I have ever seen an auto that has a 1.5-inch blade. Somebody might make one someplace out there, but I don't think I've seen one smaller than 1.9 inches. So it's basically a de facto ban. Because a 2-inch blade, that's very, very dangerous. 1.5-inch blade? No, that's okay. That's fine. You want to carry a 5-inch fixed blade? That's okay too. So I guess they think that you can do a lot more damage with a Boker USB or a ProTech Runt or a Hogue micro switch than you could do with like a Cold Steel Voyager or let's think of something crazy like a Tom Brown Tracker or something. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but that's why I'm doing this, basically to point out some of the nonsense and idiotic nature. Hopefully some of these laws that were mainly passed in the 50s end up going off the books soon, because it really is ridiculous. Just like with your Second Amendment rights, they shouldn't be infringed, neither should these, because not only are these tools, but you could consider them arms. I mean, I use my knives mostly to like open packages and mail. I mean, that's what 99% of their use is for. And the other 1% just turns out to be, different things that pop up here and there. But you know what? In the back of my mind, it's also a self-defense tool if need be. Not the ideal self-defense tool. There's better out there. There's handguns. But it is. So just want to kind of vent to some like-minded people and just kind of share some stuff that I know with people who might not know, might be where I was maybe a couple of years ago. So I hope you all have a good one, and I will talk to you later.